Last time that I did the streaming, I didn't. There's Salam. Hi, Salam. Welcome. I did start it. Yeah, I started the recording. Salam, can you hear us okay?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, very well. Great, great, great. Well,
Sorry, I am late. I was struggling to boot my computer.
no, it's okay. It's no problem. No problem. No problem. Okay, great. Well, President, take her away.
All right. We'll go ahead and get started with a board update, which I will hand over to Elaina.
Okay. So I have decided to resign my position as secretary and permanent board member. I'm still planning on being involved in almost exactly the same way in the foundation. I'll still be at the meetings and helping with proofreading and idea generation and all that good stuff. But I have resigned my official positions from the board, and Luke is actually taking over as interim secretary now.
Great, thank you for that. We appreciate all of your service over the past 4 years and on the board, and we are grateful that you're sticking around to help us out as you do possess skills in which we feel the organization needs to move forward. So we're grateful that you're still going to be around and look forward to all of your future endeavors. And Luke, welcome aboard.
Yeah, definitely. Also, there'll be some, obviously, yay, Luke. There'll be some cross training to appreciate, anything that you can do to help out Luke. I think he tried to send out some of the policies to be signed, but it's off. So I'll get with you guys maybe after the meeting. So a little bit fine tuning on that stuff or whatever. But yeah.
And if I could interject from the CTO perspective, we are struggling a little bit with user permissions and that within Smiley. So if things don't seem right, your patience is welcome, because I'm hesitant. Like when you manage a system, you don't want to open it up. Once it's opened up to everyone, it's very hard to rein it back in. And so I'm trying my best to not just open it up to everyone and get the permissions correct in Smiley. So with the signing of documents and things, I know Salam has had some problems in the past. Luke has had some problems in the past. Daniel, we all have. And so trying to figure those things out. And so, yeah, working on that. Your patience is appreciated.
Very good. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that's it on that note. And then, of course, I'd like to welcome Warahana as our senior grant writer. Yay. That's kind of a reaction there. Thank you.
Thank you, Abbie.
Yes,
Thank you.
We're very excited to have you on board. Looking forward to 2026 for all of the team and what it holds for us. And yeah, we appreciate you joining and being willing to. And we'll look forward to working together.
Absolutely. Yeah, we're already off to a great start. I feel I'm super excited, and I feel like we're already making progress, which is a beautiful thing. Because the more progress we make, the more people we help, and that's why we're here.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
With Warahana's beginning some of her tasks, we had our Ghana meeting on Friday, and she thought and felt that maybe our website could be designed a little bit differently, a little bit more grantor friendly, so to speak, because she did mention that when we're applying for these grants, they do come and look at our website and check us out, check the people that are wanting the grant. So we wanted to make that clean, and so her and Kevin had a little bit of a geek out session, kind of talking about web design and this header, this footer, and this and that, and whatever. I was proud of myself because I mostly hung on. I kind of knew, so I was like, wow. Not that I want to do it, but
good job.
Yeah. So that was good, definitely. And Kevin has already cloned the website, and Warahana has access to it. So no changes will be made to the current website until the cloned one is likely to merge back together.
Yeah,
Correct.
exactly. Yeah. And just really quick on that, Warahana, you have everything you need to make those changes, correct? So the version that's in development, the URL, which is our standard URL, givebasicneeds.org, I just put a 3 in front of it, the digit 3, and that's because this is kind of our third revision of our website. And so, Warahana, you have access to 3.givebasicneeds.org, and you're all good on that, or do I have work to do?
Yes, I have access to that, and I've been able to log into the WordPress admin dashboard.
Okay, great.
Yeah. Something I wanted to mention is, for me, my approach to work, be it a website or designing a flyer or a logo, is usually to build on a template. So let's say I want to design a flyer for a social media post. When I go to Canva, instead of designing from scratch, I'll rather take a template and then build on it. The same approach for websites. When I'm building a website, I get a template that is close to what I'm trying to achieve, and then I customize it, be it the colors, the fonts, the images, so that it gets to where I want it to be. So I've been looking at some templates, and when I settle on one that we may have to purchase, sometimes we're able to get free templates. But in case the one that I really like is a paid one, then I'll reach out to you to see if we can buy it. But it shouldn't be anything more than 60 USD.
Okay, yeah, that's a good point. Is that we're not afraid to buy software, but being a hardcore open source kind of guy that I am, I really like to not do that. Now there are things like you say that we can look at. The problem that I don't have a problem from a financial standpoint, typically of one-time purchases. When we get into the monthly support fees or monthly purchase, monthly licensing fees, that's when I really start to say no. And so the one-timers I usually don't have a problem with, but if we're going to pay something like $20 a month, I'm going to push back really hard because those monthly fees really eat into our overall budget. And so yeah, so whatever you find, hopefully you can get it for free and we can do it for free. But if there's something, definitely reach out and let's talk about it with the president and see if it's warranted for sure.
Yeah, so that means that when I'm looking at a template to buy, most of the templates are usually one time. You just purchase the template and then comes with the plugins, and it's one time, so you don't have to pay every month or every year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are definitely more desirable. The only thing that with my CTO hat on is that I would be concerned with is that sometimes templates have bugs and sometimes templates need to be updated for security reasons. So I would ask that you delve into that as well to make sure that those updates for security reasons aren't also required additional annual fees or additional fees. Hopefully, they're in a way that that they're either included, they're included in some way.
Yeah, so with templates, usually when I buy it on Team Forest or anywhere, I test for security and other things. I have platforms that I use for checking that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Great. Yeah, that's really important. So we don't want to get into a situation where with every patch for security, we end up having to pay $60 more. That obviously,
Right.
I mean, there are software developers that operate that way, and I'm aware of them as well. So as you are. So yeah, let's see what you can find, and we'll definitely discuss it, whether it's in tomorrow's meeting or any other meeting that we set up. It doesn't have to wait until a Friday Ghana team meeting. It can be, we can have as many meetings as we need to. We're here to support you. And right now, honestly, in my opinion, and the president can confirm or deny that I think the website is one of your top priorities because without it, we really don't want to pursue grants until our website looks good for grantors. And not that it doesn't look good now, it just didn't get reworked after the rebranding. And so there's some streamlining that needs to be done. And we're grateful that you're able to take it on. So I would say that's probably your top priority at the moment because it also holds Benny up in the publishing of blog posts. It really affects everything we do.
Okay, yeah, yes. So
But it's
yeah,
not in a bad
that's
way. It's not in a bad way, and it's not in a way that you should rush. I'm just telling you that that's probably
yeah.
the one of the top priorities, if not the top priority at the moment.
Yes, yes, I understand. So tomorrow you and I will be meeting. By then I should have something solid on the template
Oh, beautiful.
so that we can move forward. Yeah.
Okay, great. That's great. Thank you for that. And yeah, that's great. Looking forward to seeing it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Uh-huh.
And the Wikipedia draft.
Um.
Oh, yes.
Yes. So, Kevin,
Yeah.
in regards to preparing for grants and all of that, I'm just wondering, do we already have audited financial statements? Because I remember when we were applying for the World Bank project that we just finished executing, we needed to submit audited financial statements. Usually, I think these things take a while. I'm not sure, but if it's something we can get and just put down and wait for when a grant require that, I think it would be great.
Yeah, and this is a really good point, and I wanted to discuss it as well. Salam, I'm going to let you interact here with Warahana's question, as we had talked a bit with Salifu, who joined us on this meeting in the past, and we talked about the importance of having a third-party audit. And Salam, if I can't keep it in my head, can you update us as to where we are and what we wanted? What if Warahana and you could discuss it now, that would be great, as to where we are, and Warahana specifically, what exactly you need when you say a third-party audit. We clearly have our taxes that we've submitted to the IRS, but that's not a third-party audit of our books. And so, Salam, can you give us a status update on where you are and what you're thinking on the external audits?
Yes. So we can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So with that, I think we appointed the auditor. We appointed an audit firm as required by law in Ghana, an external audit firm, and so the audit firm gave us two options. Uh, First of all, we requested that when they audit our accounts or our financial statements, we want them to give us management letters. And so they said that uh, they have two options. Either we, as an organization, give basic needs, we prepare our financial statements, they come in as external auditors, go through the financial statements, and audit the financial statements and issue auditors' opinion or management letters on that. So with that, I think we didn't move beyond that. They We also agreed that we were going to do 3-year financial statements starting from 2023, 2024, and 2025. And they said, depending on the level of work they have to do, but the average cost per year from the auditors was $1,800.
Okay. And
So that
just so I can confirm, and I apologize for I can't keep it all in my head, so I have to apologize. What's the name of the company that, just so Warahana knows the name of the auditor, and so Benny knows as well. Benny probably already knows, but just to catch Warahana up,
okay.
the name of the audit firm that we've chosen.
It's called Asong Nkrumah and Associates.
And Warahana, have you heard of this company? Just curious.
No, I haven't.
Okay, it was a recommendation by Salifu, who, like I said, was on the call, and so we decided to go with it. Salam, you had said that they were a medium-level audit firm that you felt was more than qualified. We have signed the agreement with them, paid them for the initial letter or retainer for legal reasons. I guess my question to Warahana is, So Salam, just to back up really quick, there are two. This is from a financial standpoint. That's why I'm asking this question. Is there are two options, if I remember. One was where we essentially provide our books to them and they sign off on them, and the second is we provide the books and then they literally go through and check everything and do all of the work. There were two levels of work. Let's just call it
Yes.
a light and a heavy. The heavy work, the heavy work of the audit firm, we decided not to do, and I think we decided to have them do the light version of the audit. But that's going to depend on what Warahana thinks is going to get us the most benefit. So could you maybe explain the light version just one more time, and then we'll get feedback from Warahana regarding if she thinks that's sufficient or we need to take it to the next level.
Yeah. So with the light version, we prepare our accounts.
Mm-hmm.
Just let me use you because you are the CFO.
Yeah.
But so let's say assuming I'm the accountant of the firm of Give Basic Needs. So I prepare our annual accounts internally.
Yeah.
And I make sure it checks all the boxes for international financial reporting standards.
Right.
And then they take the accounts, they go through it, and they satisfy it and give their opinion whether it complies, blah 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 blah.
Right.
But the second option would be for them to actually come in. With the second option, they will have someone from their team to actually come in and look through our books with us, query every transaction if they need to, and at the end of the day, they will satisfy and give their comments and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
And that level comes with, I think, a higher expenditure.
Uh-huh.
And okay, so yeah, maybe I'll defer that to Warahana, but to me, I would have preferred that maybe we'll stay with the first option for now.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so those were the two options we have.
Okay. Great. So
The second option, with my experiences, I think usually is corporate bodies. I see they do that, and some of these big NGOs. But I just don't think we are there yet. So maybe.
Yeah, I agree, because that bigger, let's call it the heavy option, I think you said came with a price tag of around 5,000 US. Is that correct? Or my memory's not good.
Yes, it was around 3,000 to 5,000, and
Okay.
that also depends on the firm we choose.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Mm.
Okay, so we'll turn it over to Warahana as our grant expert and ask her which of these options is suitable. Obviously, as we are mindful of every dollar we spend is a dollar we don't help someone, essentially. but
Yes.
at the same time, we need to get the grant. So let us. What do you think, Warahana, as far as the light versus the heavy, and what do you think of this company as representing us, or do we even need to take another step back and evaluate that? I don't know.
Okay, so let me answer that first. I know Salafu, and Salafu is well versed in the area of accounting.
Mm-hmm.
So if he recommends that company, I'm sure they'll be able to do a good job.
Okay.
And I would also go with the light audit,
Okay.
because with the auditor statement, the funder just wants like an independent opinion on your statements, right?
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
So they don't necessarily have to come in and do the heavy lifting. They just have to certify that your statements are accurate, they are complete, and they are free from, let's say, material misstatement. Yeah.
Okay.
So we can go with the light audit.
Okay, great. Yeah, that's great. If then that's the best option for us. And then we'll need to take an action item. President, who do you want to assign? I guess I get that action item. I don't really want it, but okay. I will take the action item to then work with Salam and Warahana. Warahana, I guess this doesn't pertain to you anymore. You've decided the light version is sufficient. So I'll be working with Salam and the audit firm to go ahead and get the requirements to them so that we can get this done as quickly as possible so that it's ready when Warahana needs it. Does that sound right to everybody, especially Salam?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so I'll take
But
that.
I think you shared some data, you shared some financial information with Salifu.
Yes.
Yes. So if I can get that financial information, maybe we can prepare some accounts
Yeah.
internally.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, and as what
You already shared.
as I'll get you the financials based on what we talked about, Salifu. I just want one confirmation. I believe everything needs to be stated in CD. Is that correct?
yes, please.
Okay. Yeah, and that was one of the requirements that he had us do
Yes.
as well. So I will state all of the financials for the audit, third-party audit that's going to happen in Ghana in CD, and then I will work with you to get you the information you need. And then Salam, is what I'll need you to do then is when the time comes, and I don't know that we're there yet. Maybe the audit firm has a checklist of what they need, or maybe they just need us to give them what we gave to Salifu. I don't know, but if you could work through that and get me the checklist, or just tell me, just give me what Salifu requested, then I'll get that to you. And then when it comes time for payment, just create the purchase invoice, please.
Okay. I
And
think I'll talk to them and get the checklist.
then,
They said, yeah, I think they definitely have a checklist. I'll have to write with them. So the procedure was that when we are ready, I would inform them, and then they will give us an engagement letter.
okay.
The engagement letter will state the information they need. It will state the management letters, the extra guidance they will provide us. It will also state, it will include a quote for like the fees they will charge
Yeah.
and all of that. Then we'll look through that, and then we will know what they are expecting from us and what we're also expecting from them. And once we agree to the engagement letter, we sign it off, and then they can start their work. But I think internally, we have to first of all prepare our accounts.
Mhm.
I don't know whether you will do that.
Yeah, I will be doing that.
Okay, so yeah, so we'll prepare our accounts internally. Then,
And if I need help
if you need,
with that, I will be reaching out to probably our current CPA here in the U.S.
okay,
to help with that. But I
yeah,
think I can get it done. And I would encourage, if you have anything to write to
okay,
them, Salam, I would encourage you to pass it by me if you wouldn't mind before you send it to them, just so I can
sure.
be on the same page.
Sure. Yes.
Okay.
And so I will let you prepare that and send to me.
Mm-hmm.
I can also, so I will look at it and see if it goes with our standards here, or the way the way we present our financial statements here.
Mm-hmm.
If anything need to be done, if you permit me, I can also touch it with my finance background and accounting background, and then let you have a look before we forward it to them.
Okay, great. And
But
Salam,
then when I'm writing to them, I'll let you know.
okay, great. And Salam, if you could send me, I don't know your, I apologize, I can't remember, but I need to know the uh, the exact spelling of the organization, the audit company. And
Same.
did
Okay.
we sign a document or not yet?
Not yet. We just wrote to them, and they gave us an acceptance letter.
Okay, the acceptance letter has their letterhead. Yes.
It has their letterhead. Yes, I think
That's
I
what.
shared it with you, but I can share it again.
Please do. The president might have it as well, but I'll need that as I create the reports. And we're going to follow the international accounting standards for the report.
Okay.
Great, thanks. And then, yeah, the only question I have is, and this will be discuss later, but I want to mention it here, is Benny, I don't know if this audit process will involve you or not, but if it does, we'll be sure to discuss that prior to moving forward, and to make sure that you're kind of in on the ground floor if this is going to be part of your role going forward. But we can discuss that personally with the Presidio later.
All right, sure.
Does that sound good to you, Benny?
Yeah, sure, it does.
Okay, great. Great.
Anything else on that topic? I know we're going to touch on it a little bit more later on in the meeting.
No, yeah,
Okay. So the notebook LM feedback draft, how's that working, Benny? I saw some documents in Discord this morning.
for the Wikipedia.
The Wikipedia,
Uh-huh.
you said you sent the notebook LM feedback.
Yeah, I had sent the feedback to Benny, and then
Okay.
Benny was going to review the Wikipedia. And Elaina, if you could, and Warahana, I think Warahana here is looking at the Wikipedia from the perspective of a grantor. So Warahana, as you see Benny's work on the Wikipedia, if there's some wording that maybe doesn't set well with a would-be grantor, or there's something missing, please advise him so that we can get it worked into this draft of the Wikipedia. Does that make sense, Warahana?
Yes, I'll take a look at it and
Great.
then
Yeah, because
I'll
it's
give Ben
kind,
my.
okay, great. Yeah, because it's kind of our outward-facing website persona, if you will, right? So our website and our Wikipedia need to look consistent for the grantor. And so we'll ask you to just have a review of it and make sure that there's not a component missing from the Wikipedia that you'd like to see in there for that consistency and those successful grants that we intend on getting.
Oh, okay.
Great. And Benny, you can go ahead if you'd like to discuss the Wikipedia page, or how the feedback went, or how things are going with that.
Yes. So, with what we had, I have just um created the draft as a Wikipedia standard draft of how the page will actually look like if we submit the draft and it gets approved. That was what I shared on the group
Okay.
on the marketing channel today. Yeah. However, I had some few uh, things to touch on
Okay.
as suggestions or how we can take a look at them moving forward. And one had to do with we spoke about the Northern Health Shield in the new Wikipedia page, which from my research, which I think we do not have a lot of covering around that area yet, and that is because we've not started to actually execute projects in that field.
Mm-hmm.
So because of that, we are not able to get a lot of coverage, media coverage.
Okay.
So when it's submitted, um, we could have an issue. There's a chance it will go through, but just to get things right, I feel that that could have an issue since we haven't had a lot of coverage around that area yet.
Okay.
Yes.
Um,
Yep.
Benny, Benny, along that line, can I ask you? So I sent out an image yesterday, I believe, or the day before, that talked about the fact that the scientific dossier is complete, and the research paper is complete. And I was asking if those were locked in, and I personally feel like they are. I haven't made changes to them in quite some time. Everything we're doing is in alignment with them as I check through our notebook LM. So I don't know if the group can agree on that those documents are locked in, because if they are locked in, we can begin begin to submit the blog posts for the Northern Health Shield project, and then we could potentially pay for media coverage, Benny, if you felt that. I feel it's important that the Northern Health Shield is in there. So if we have to wait on publishing the Wikipedia until we have coverage from a media house, because it's a new year, we could move forward with that, especially if Warahana felt that having that in the Wikipedia would be beneficial to us gaining grants. So my question to the group, I guess, is that, first of all, Benny, do you feel that you have enough information and that that blog post schedule and social media post schedule will work for you, and that we will publish the research paper and then we'll publish those 5 social media posts about the shield? Is there enough content there for you, and does that look good to you?
Yes. So with the excerpts from the paper, I think that is enough. If we get that to our website and also have that sent out as social media posts, it will actually be enough. Yes. So for now, it's because Notebook LM um, knows everything about us. It's able to point out directly to this Northern Health Shield what we intend to do.
Yeah.
Yes, yes. But so you now Google about Give Basic Needs, you're actually able to see some of the health events we have done. It correlates a lot to our projects and that. Now the fear is that if someone should search for Northern Health Shield, assuming the moderators of Wikipedia, they want to just do a background check on the coverage of or the notability of that particular area, since we haven't rolled out anything yet or no media house has spoken about it yet, they might not get any results pertaining that and that connecting to Give Basic Needs. Yes,
Right.
so we could actually see how we can have that rolled out and getting the media house to talk about it along our 2026 plans. Maybe we make them just present like what we intend to do as an organization, and this is one of the important things we want to cover going forward this year. So with that, we can have that added in the Wikipedia page without having to worry about notability issues.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
so that is just something I thought of whilst I was looking at the revised draft that we had.
Yeah, no, I think it's a really important point. I'm going to let Warhana ask a question really quick, but I want to ask Elaina, because she's one of our primary wordsmiths. Have you had a chance to read through those documents, Elaina? The scientific paper as well as the research paper and the intended blog posts?
I've gotten a chance to look at some of it, but I have not been able to read through all of it yet.
Okay, so Elaina, if you could take the action item to read through those documents, and we'll get those to you, either I will or Benny will. Ideally, Benny, if you could send those over to Elaina somehow, whether it's through WhatsApp or whatever, then Elaina, if you could read through them and just look for any issues that you might see that would cause us problems, that would be great.
All right, sure.
Sure thing.
I will. Yeah.
Great, thanks. And now on to Warahana, who has a question or would like to comment about the Northern Health Shield being a part of Wikipedia.
So my comment is on the social media bit, the 5 social media posts that you mentioned. Are these posts in the wiki documents you shared, or how can I access them? That's my first question. My second question is, when do we intend to send these posts out? And also, because the aim is to apply for grants alongside setting up the pilot hubs, I want us to take people along the journey, right? So whenever we have the opportunity to meet physically for an activity related to the hubs, so it could be maybe physical interviews that we are having with the RNs, or a meeting that we have with the district health directories, we take pictures and then we post it on social media, just saying that, oh, today we did this in relation to the Northern Health Shield. just so that people follow the journey, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a really good point. And so, Benny, if I could ask you, in the Northern Health Shield, to go ahead and share the 5 blog posts and the 2 other documents that are that I was asking, the scientific dust. Shit. Yeah, the scientific dust. Benny, should you do this or should I do this?
Yeah, I'll do that. I'll share
Okay.
it with them.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
share those three documents, the blog post, the scientific document, and the research paper, all in the Health Hub Discord. Then Elaina can pick them up there and comment. Warahana can pick them up there and comment. And then, Salam, I'm going to get to you 1 second. But I think is what I hear Warahana saying and what I'm feeling. I don't know what the president is feeling or others, but I think we're hearing that Warahana wants to take us through the journey and make sure that this is a solid, continuous communication channel of the Northern Health Shield. And with that, I think it's important, Benny, that we wait. I hear Warahana and myself anyhow, hearing that it's probably best to wait on publishing the the Wikipedia page draft until we have you, Benny, comfortable with media house sources pointing and our website and other things, blog posts pointing to our Northern Health Shield initiative. And I'm going to first start with Warahana. Is that what you hear? Are you thinking, Warahana? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, great. And then Benny, you understand that as well?
Yes, I do. Yeah.
Okay, great. And now Salam, your question?
Okay. So I just wanted to make a comment on the Northern Health Shield
Yeah.
with regards to the Wikipedia. That one thing we could do is maybe just hold on when we are about to, let's say, cut short for one of the health stations. We can maybe invite the mayor, invite the health director, invite some key people, have the community people. They are there. We take some nice pictures, videos, and let the media just carry it as Give Basic Needs has launched or is launching a Northern Health Shield, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Or we can proceed to maybe take that information out of the Wikipedia draft for now and submit what we have, hoping that we'll get approval in a week or some few days. And when we officially launch or start the Northern Health Shield, we can, and media carries it, we can revise and keep on adding. I don't know if Wikipedia allows that we can add information as and when and it is due. Then that can also be another option.
Yeah, I think that's good. That's good, Salam. And I would defer to Ben and Warahana.
Yeah, do you know that, Ben? If you can edit, like once the Wikipedia page is posted, can you add or update it, I guess, to current things?
Yes, it can be updated at any time. Sometimes you visit some Wikipedia pages and they are encouraging editors to add more information because it's lacking this information. So edits can be done at any time.
Okay, excellent.
Yeah.
And then Ben, just in your professional opinion, to be so that we're successful with not only the Wikipedia but with the media houses, the references, everything. Would you rather we publish now and revise later, or are you preferring that we just hold off because there's no rush in the Wikipedia? We should wait until we have the Northern Health Shield in place and enough references from media houses to publish. Which option that Salam proposed would you prefer?
Yes. So since we intend to have that start soon, I think we can wait
Mhm.
so that we gather everything straight before we start. Yes. Though there were other points I wanted to make regarding the Wikipedia.
Okay, just one second. Just one second, Benny. Can I ask Warahana, which would be your preference with the Wikipedia and how important is it? Should we wait until we have a little bit more information, or would you rather see us publish and revise?
Let's wait till we have a bit more information to publish.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So now to you, Benny.
Yes. So going forward, I also wanted to suggest that we could have, although we are shifting to focus majorly on the health shield and the hubs, but along the line, if we could have at least a report on each pillar that we currently undertake. Yes, it's something I've written for some time now, even before the idea of the Northern Health Shield came up.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, we wanted to. I was looking at how we can have independent reports for food, like an event on food is reported on, an event on health is reported on, an event on shelter also is reported on, so that when we talk about that in each category of the Wikipedia page, we can have enough sources pointing out to our work in those fields. Yes.
Okay.
Then,
okay, go ahead.
yes. Then the other thing was, I don't know how this would be possible, but in the US, can we have at least get another report just on any of our activities in the US? I don't know how that.
Yeah, no, it's a great question, and we would love to do this. I don't. The thing is that
We'd have the best way is to have an event here in the United States and then have somebody cover it.
right. We haven't done that in the past, obviously. I understand the significance of it because it shows that we are more than just Ghana. So I see that. I don't know how to accomplish it.
Okay, yes, but
See, because a lot
it's
of the
just
times, a lot of the events that we do in the U.S. are random, more random than they are so in Ghana. So when they're random, it's harder to get media to show up
yeah, sure.
because they don't know we're doing it, and we don't want to draw attention necessarily before the event. So I hear what you're saying, and I see the importance of it.
Too, here in the United States, some people are very, they don't want their picture taken. They don't want to be in any video or anything like that. So we've come across individuals who we've given a gift card to, and that it's just their hand. You know, they don't want any kind of media on them too. So we kind of run into that situation that if we show up to an event, then we have to let people know. You know, that may unfortunately, chase away some people.
Especially and this is the last thing before we get to Salam, is that unfortunately the people that we're targeting in the U.S. already feel a bit persecuted, marginalized, and so to ask them to be in an image can sometimes solidify their position in society.
okay. Yeah, I think that's understood.
Yeah, and so that makes it hard. But I understand what you're saying, and we will keep thinking on that. But I don't think that that's going to happen before the launch.
Okay. So
All right. So,
Yeah, go
I
ahead.
just wanted to suggest, I don't know how, but here in Ghana, the media, and maybe because of the relationship some of us have built with them, because as you, Kelvin, is aware, during my crypto advocacy, I used to tour a lot of the media houses, so I've built relationships.
Yeah.
So I don't know if in the US it could be the same, that maybe we could just approach a known blogger, not necessarily any of these big media houses, to just write. We could write a story for a known blogger to post just about give basic needs and include the things we've done. Maybe that could also help. So I just wanted to suggest that.
Yeah, it's a great suggestion, and I think that the other thing that's different here is we you cannot pay a media house in the U.S.
Okay.
for coverage, none. Like
Okay.
yeah,
Okay. That
we
that
can't
stops.
yeah, so we can't go to them and say, here's 200 U.S. write a story for us.
Okay.
It's just it's considered unethical because
Okay.
if you're known in the news, then they will do a report on you for free.
Okay.
Does that make sense? But otherwise, it's like buying advertisement.
Yeah, I can see the geological differences
Yeah.
and how the systems work. Here, if we don't, if in third parties don't pay the media, the workers will sleep hungry.
Yeah, yeah, exactly, exactly. See, and so here, the media tries to be independent, so they find their own stories, and so how you get in front of them is much more difficult than just walking into a publishing house and saying, "I want a story done." They will look at you and laugh.
Okay. Okay.
So, but one thing I do know is Elaina has some work in a press office experience in Oregon. Elaina, can you
University.
at the when she was in university, do you have any contacts or anything that we could do a giving event and have someone there write about us?
I mean, yeah, I think we could definitely reach out to. I mean, I haven't talked to them in a very long time, but I think that the like school newspaper, I guess it's kind of the school newspaper. They are an independent organization, but I think they would be more than willing to come out and cover like an event if we did something at the school.
Okay, so I think we should take that as a side,
Mhm.
put it in the parking lot, as they say. And Elaina, when we do another giving event, we'll target Oregon and we'll target maybe some of your old contacts at your paper to see if they could get some coverage. But I don't want this to be dependent on us launching the Wikipedia page. Does that make sense, Elaina?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. And so Benny, is that okay with you as well? As I hear you, we'll work on it.
Yeah, that's okay with me.
Okay.
We do have Ren, who's there in Eugene and
Mhm.
has his nonprofit, so he may have.
Oh, he
also
may have,
connections.
yes, an individual who's considering traveling with us to Ghana is actually, we could reach out to him
Yeah. I
and
can
see.
take that action item.
Great. So the president will take the action item to reach out to Ren regarding some possible media coverage of either our travels to Ghana or an event that takes place in Eugene, and working with Elaina to potentially set up that giving event in 2026 so we can get that reference to Benny for the Wikipedia page. Great.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah.
David?
So I'm sorry, really quick. I just want to recap. We decided to do the light version of the audit, and we decided to wait on the Wikipedia page until the Northern Health Shield is established and has the sources that Benny wants for it to be successful in the Wikipedia page. Is that what we decided?
I believe so. Yes.
Yes, yes.
Okay, great. Great. And Salam, you're good with that as well?
Yes, I think so.
Okay, great.
Another thing, the data correction continuing for the medical data, Project 47 and 29. How's that going, Benny?
Yes, so I think with the help of the um CTO,
Yeah.
we're able to we're able to have that cleaned Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah. So
Okay.
I think we're all
Yes.
good on that. Yeah, we can close that, right?
Yes. Yes.
Great. Thanks for your help on that, Benny.
All right. Salam, can you give us a little debrief when you met with the doctor on the 27th and how that meeting went and how you feel about it? Maybe Dr.
Yes, it went very well. He's been a long-standing supporter of our event, and yeah, so he had shown the story Ben posted about him on our Facebook page to his friends, and they were also very happy. And one of them have mentioned that in our next medical event, he wants to come with his wife. The wife is also a nurse from
Beautiful.
Accra to come and witness. So now that we are having this dynamic shift, maybe I will invite them to come and witness our Northern Health Shield projects when we start.
Yeah.
Probably maybe at the commissioning, we can invite them to come. We can get doctor himself to also come and witness it. I believe that if we harness our relationship with them, um, Warahana knows Dr. Kweku, and I think he's capable enough. We just need to keep carrying him along and getting him convinced. Maybe at a point he will decide to also donate a health hub for us, because
Beautiful.
I know he and his friends are capable.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Well traveled and valuable effort, Salam. Thank you for that. We appreciate it.
Yeah, we can definitely invite him in April to the medical event that we're going to do with our trip and stuff too.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, yeah. And I also mentioned to them, yeah, so he has also offered to assist with, he has a gold trading company,
Uh-huh.
and he has some gold mines to himself as well. He does he has logistic company as well, and so he deal with expatriates a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So I mentioned to him about our work and residency permits, and he has also offered to help with a contract that has been handling for his clients, so that it can be swift. So I
Beautiful.
told him probably when you are in Ghana and he has time, we'll get to meet him and just uh, create that rapport between all of you and him.
Yeah, that sounds
Wonderful.
wonderful. We look forward to that moment.
For sure.
Yeah.
Warahana, did you have something else?
Yes, I just want to say great efforts, Salam. Um, I think you are making my work a bit easy because, as part of my strategy, I intend to actually reach out to some of the big companies in Ghana. Most companies involve in something we call corporate social responsibility. So that's their own way of giving back to the community. So if their own way of giving back to the community is to partner with Give Basic Needs to run, let's say, a health screening exercise, or to donate hygiene products or medicine or anything, I think that will go a long way to help our efforts. And yes, I know Doc, he has a lot of companies. He has a lot of companies. So even if one of his companies decide to use us for their corporate social responsibilities, I think that would be great. So yeah, thank you, Salam.
Great.
Yeah,
Thank you.
excellent.
Great,
Excellent.
great.
Excellent.
And Salam, I think one thing to keep in mind, if you're identifying contacts that that focus on logistics and the distributions of things, um, definitely try to leverage those as you try to build the supply chains for the medications that we need to purchase and store in our tamale warehouse, as I'm calling it, because the office will also serve as a medical warehouse for the health hubs, at least initially. So if you're building supply chains and you're dealing with people with logistics, the movement of goods and services, goods primarily medical, please take note that those could be very valuable in helping us procure, for example, the typhoid vaccine or something else along that line, even gauzes or bandages, whatever it might be.
Okay. Yeah.
Great.
I will.
Great work, Salam. Thank
Yeah,
you.
wonderful. And also in the Friday meeting, Salam did debrief with us about the volunteer celebration. Do you want to fill in the board, the rest of the board, Salam, a little bit about the celebration?
Yes. So to the rest of the board, thank you for your approval of our end of year hangout.
Mhm.
It went very, very successful. As you may have seen in the pictures, we had very good attendance. We had budgeted for about 36 people, and we had about 30 people show up. Uh, we had a lot of meats. We killed 2 goats, and we had some chicken as well. We had assorted local drinks, um, and then yeah, it was a very nice event. We had the mayor of Bushegu Municipal grace the occasion with a colleague of his who also is a communication officer of the ruling party. So they all made time to attend and offered to give us their continuous support moving forward. And the mayor actually um, was very excited that we have chosen to work in his municipality and that he will give us the necessary support that we need going forward. Yeah, so overall, it was a very excellent event. I took the time to educate the volunteers on the Northern Health Shield and to also let them know that at any time we would be calling on them as and when is needed to help us become successful. And they have continuously, even at the event and beyond that, indicated by reaching out to us because they are not able to comment on the volunteer pages. So they do come to our inbox and encouraging us and also assuring us of their availability anytime we need them. So overall, it was a very good event. We were able to build and solidify our network of volunteers. And I think going forward, we will not have issues with medical professionals for events or for the Northern Health Shield.
Beautiful.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you.
Yeah, that was great. Thank you for all that effort, Salam, and Benny as well, capturing the moment, which is really important to go ahead and show um, show the. I think it's important. People like to be obviously recognized for their effort and participation, and so Benny, by capturing those videos, you and the images, you really help bring them even further into the fold. Salam used his words, Benny used his images, and we got, like you said, Salam, a critical base of medical professionals and municipal figures that can help us be successful. And for that, we're most grateful for sure. Good work, guys.
Very nice.
Thank you.
Excellent work.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, kind of breezing over the agenda. Warahana, we're talking about business and giving cards for you. I know there was some chatter about it early this morning, and did you decide?
No, we didn't decide, but what we can do is we can talk about it tomorrow, Warahana, if that's okay for you. I think the giving event cards probably aren't as warranted, but maybe you think they are, and we should make that part of our distribution at the giving events. But we're going to be moving towards health hubs, so I don't know how that's going to be changing. But we can discuss this tomorrow. And Salam and Benny, you're obviously welcome to participate in the meeting tomorrow that we're going to have with Warahana. It's not a one-on-one kind of meeting or anything like that. We just need to cover some general stuff about Smiley and how to use Smiley, and also some just general discussion. So Warahana, if you want to invite them optionally, you can to that meeting. And if you have time, you're more than welcome to join. We could discuss the usage of those cards and who needs business cards, things like that as well in that meeting.
Excellent.
Okay.
Great.
Did you want to talk about the use of drones for the health shield delivery?
Yeah, absolutely. So there's two things that I'd like to discuss with Salam as far as the implementation, Benny as the compliance piece, and Warahana as the grant piece. I was thinking that, we're talking about using trucks initially, and then we talked about these locations being remote, and the trucks really won't have the access that they need or to deliver supplies. And then we talked about motorbikes, and then I had circled around, and I remembered the company Zipline that I had pictured. Did research on them back in 2011 and looking at the amazing things that they were doing when they started. And then they actually attended one of our events at our office, if I'm correct, Salam. And so the idea was, why don't we just use drones to deliver these medications to the health hubs instead of worrying about motorbikes and having to have someone drive that or facilitate that? And why not just have a drone simply deliver medications to these rural health hubs, unmanned drones to these health hubs, where we can essentially move product from the warehouse, which is the tamale office, and literally fly them, via line of sight, not having to worry about road conditions or weather, muddy conditions on the roads, etc. And also the wages that would be required for us to pay that driver to deliver those medications. Why not just have the drones deliver them, drop the medications at the hub, and then return to the warehouse in Tamale? And that was one of the things that I wanted to talk about. So I'll start with Salam and what your thoughts are on that, but I also want to hear from Benny and Warahana specifically. I feel like this piece of infrastructure in the health hub would be easy to write into the grants, but we can talk about that in a minute. So Salam, let's hear your thoughts on that and what you're thinking.
Okay. So Zipline is actually a good idea. I think when you shared that information, I said I have some information to share.
Uh-huh.
But over the years, they have proven themselves not to be useful, and the government is currently about canceling their contracts. I think they are in court.
Uh-huh.
The reason
I saw that actually on their Wikipedia page.
yeah. So the reason is that the government engaged them to deliver essential medical supplies to remote health facilities.
Uh-huh.
And these remote health facilities were limited to district hospitals. And knowing our district hospitals, I think in Ghana, the district hospitals are considered above clinics, and so they are mostly in towns. Unfortunately, Zipline has they failed to access these locations. They've only been able to do 16%, 16% success rate
That's awful.
delivering to these remote locations, which is at the district levels. So government realized that their drones were not efficient enough.
Uh-huh.
They are also arguing that it is not their fault. It is our GPS system as a country that makes it not possible. And they actually signed a contract with the government to per delivery station, so per hospital, they are charging the government $88,000 every month for delivering to one health facility.
Oh my God, that's ridiculous.
And their argument is that the government must pay that money whether they deliver or they don't deliver. So they are expecting government to pay for a total cost for the 100% cost of $88,000 per health facility, when they have only been able to access just 16% of these facilities.
That's awful. What a terrible business model. It sounds like they're setting themselves up for failure.
For failure, yes. So honestly, as we speak, Ghanaians are generally not happy with Zipline
Uh-huh.
because the momentum they came into the market with, we all believe that it was a deal breaker. It was going to solve a lot of issues, but they have actually failed very woefully. And I think that we cannot rely on them because if they cannot deliver to district hospitals in the and their excuse is GPS locations,
That's,
then how more the villages?
yeah,
And also looking at the cost, I don't even think it is prudent enough.
no,
$88,000 per center, even if they are going to charge us half of that because we are a non-profit, it will still not
no,
make sense. And that is
no.
just for a month.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. First of all, the GPS, as Warahana laughed, I totally agree. That's baloney. That's not even real. And then the other thing
Yeah.
is that we could literally send a drone every time and not retrieve it and still come out cheaper than 44,000.
Yeah.
Yeah.
so I think that's good information, and I think zipline is not an option. But I think we still can do something with our own drones, and that's what I want to hear from Benny about because he does have some drone experience. What are your thoughts, Benny?
Yeah. So when I saw the option on Discord, I thought it was a good option. Just as Salam has said already, it's all over the news here about the shutdown of Zipline or Zipline about to shut down. So I was like, that wouldn't be a way for us to go.
Mm-hmm.
And the way they even operate, they had only one center in the whole of northern Ghana, which was in Wale Wale.
Mm,
So it would have required that anytime we want to, we would first of all have to arrange for our products to get to them at the center before the, which it's also a bit distant. So I think taking them there, we could have even find our way getting it directly to
yeah.
yes there. So the best option would be our drones, though I don't know how. I have experience actually handling drones just for taking pictures, but
Uh-huh.
we could explore the other option in terms of pricing and how feasible that would be for us if we want to compare that to going or delivering them via a truck or motorbikes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that that's a good point, and I look to you, Benny, for some advice just because you do have drone experience. I personally don't, but we actually have a family friend who's very close, and he is part of a drone company. That he's founded a drone company that I may be able to get some advice on, but commercially. So the problem with Zipline too is they're using technology, unfortunately, from 2011. And so this is not even comparable to where we are today. And so is what I think that it's worth pursuing. And Benny, because you do have some drone experience, is what I would be looking for is someone who is managing inventory to be able to use the drone in an autonomous way where we give it geo coordinates and we tell it go fly here, deliver, and then return home. And I think that it doesn't even require, at this point in time, the need for someone to actively be flying it like you do when you take pictures. So I know these
Yeah.
commercial drones exist. I know they're built in China. I know we can buy them. I think this is a capital investment that we could do. Whether it's in our best interest or not, I don't know yet. If but if you think, Benny, that it might be viable, then I'd like you to continue to do a little research in that area when you have some free time.
Okay, I think yeah, I'll do that.
Okay, great. And then
And we'll see.
and then I'd like Warahana to comment on the not only the viability of it, but also her ability to include this piece of infrastructure in our health hub model to fund it as opposed to funding a motorbike to do the deliveries. I feel it's more sustainable because the drone's going to fly. We just need to put electricity in the drone and it will continue to fly for a period of time before we replace it. So, Warhana, can you comment on that?
Yes. So immediately, I'm not able to see where we can directly fit it in let's say, a grantor's interest, what I can rather say is, let's say that it would cost us 5,000 USD, right,
Yeah.
to purchase a drone and pre-program it with the GPS so that it functions independently. And then let's say that it would cost us almost the same amount to hire people to do the same job. A grantor would be more interested in the fact that you are creating jobs for people. Yeah, that's just my comment. And I'm just concerned, right? If we are delivering to the remote villages, I'm not sure how drones would be able to function efficiently in that scenario. If it uses sensors and GPS and all of that. And yeah, I think Zipline might be over exaggerating their issues and probably just coming up with excuses. But some way, somehow, I feel like the GPS is a contributing factor. But nonetheless, we can explore with one drone and see how that works out.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree. And I think that you make a good point about the employment. My concern is I know, and correct me if I'm wrong, I know that Salam and Benny in our working together over the course of the last almost 10 years, we've had issues with motorbikes even not being able to be passable through some of the roads during the rainy season. So that's a concern for me. So the autonomous drones essentially will avoid objects in the air, trees, and all of that. That's no problem. They basically, you just, at the time at which you deploy them, you just give them the coordinates and it will literally land at that destination. And then once it lands, that person will give the clear and then that they've unloaded the drone, and then the drone will fly. It has a model, a program. They're very intelligent. They have a method to return to home base, and so this drone would then just fly back to the warehouse. So, but my question, am I correct in saying that, Salam and Benny, that even motorcycles or motorbikes at times have a difficult time on the roads because during the rainy season?
Yes, there are some roads that even when it rains heavily, sometimes with a motorbike, accessing them become difficult. I think Ben fell in some water a year or two ago,
Yeah,
and we captured that video.
yeah.
Yeah, so the drone idea I think is good. My concern is that if it relies on network or let's say GPS, some of these villages are totally blacked out. You get there, you cannot even make a call. You don't get network at all.
Yeah,
So I don't know how that would work if there are no network connections in some of the areas we want the drones to be deployed to.
yeah,
So that is the only concern.
yeah. It's a good point. And so they do fly just strictly on GPS. So GPS coordinates and GPS navigation cover the globe. So regardless of cell service or Wi-Fi or any of that, GPSs work all over the entire planet. There are a network of satellites that are in low orbit that communicate and essentially map everywhere. So it is viable to not have a network and have strong GPS signals that can be used for delivery. I think that some tests and some research needs to be done in this area because we do have the ability to deliver when motorbikes can't sometimes, and we also have the ability to deliver multiple times a day, even with drones. I'd be interested to know um, when it'll really be important when Salam, you and Benny, one of the tasks that I think you have taken on, one of the action items that you've taken on, correct me if I'm wrong, is that you and Benny are going to identify the first two pilot health hubs, which will be part of our pilot project that Warahana will gather information on and present to our potential grantors. But the distances of those will be important as in the line of sight, as it's called. So how far it would be for the drone to fly to those locations as opposed to taking a road. And so the road may be 2 hours on a road that's 20 miles, or it may be by air, it's a 15-minute flight because it's a straight flight. So we'll have to evaluate that once I think this discussion, Benny, if you could continue your research on drones, I'll do the same. And then we can discuss this in the future in the Ghana team meeting maybe. And then Salam, if you can work with Benny on that action item to locate those first 2 health hubs, that'll give us an idea of how far these drones will be flying. And then we could hopefully get with a nurse to decide how much weight they would be able to carry. Because where a motorbike may be able to only deliver once a week, a drone may be able to deliver twice a day. Things like blood for a transfusion for someone who has malaria. Also, the thing that the drone does is it cuts the need for the requirements for the cold chain. I know we haven't been talking about the cold chain and keeping things cold, but if a drone flies there in 15 minutes, it's much easier to keep that medication or that vaccine cold for that period of time than putting it on a motorbike and riding for 2 hours to the village. So I don't know what the requirements are, but Benny or Salam, I think you have that action item to identify those 2 health hubs. And once you do, we'll be able to determine what kind of distances we're talking about flying. Is that correct?
Yes, so we have identified those 2. The first one, we didn't have an issue. Perfect. The community is big. We have a borehole that is within the community. We can site the health hub closer to the borehole. We also, the second place, actually, we don't have a borehole in that town, in that community, but the community will be very ideal because we did a food program in that community, and it's a big community. It's a big adjoining communities of 3. And so we were looking at utilization. If we have a health center there, even just serving the 3 communities adjoining to each other is going to be of good numbers. And there are other closer communities to it. But these communities are not far from Nachamai village, where we did a borehole recently, which is also within the community. But my village is relatively smaller. We have a borehole within the community, very close to a particular house, and there was a lot of water. But the village is relatively smaller. However, it is also closer to these 3 big communities that are adjoining to each other. So now, and just after the village, after my village, is another village where there is a chip compound already. I mean, it's a government chip compound. So we were discussing that if not for the borehole issue, we would have located that our health hub in the middle of these 3 adjoining communities, because that area has a lot of communities behind it, and accessibility is a problem from the 3rd community. So when usually medical professionals don't like to go to those areas. Yeah, so we thought that, in fact, Ben suggested that place would have been a very good location. But the issue is just the fact that we don't have a water source very close to town at that place. Otherwise, we have identified the 2 locations.
I think that one thing that we should keep in mind as we identify these boreholes. So Salam, the plan, just so we're on the same page, the plan is that the borehole is literally next to the health hub. You agree, right?
Yes, that's the plan. That's what we agreed on Friday. That if the pilot could take place such a way that the health hubs are near or closer to the boreholes we already have.
Yeah, literally like within a 300-meter radius, like very close, as close as we can get to the water, because the nurse is going to need that water source.
Yes.
And we don't want her fetching water, 3-4 times a day where she's not in the office treating people. So it's important that they're close. The one thing that I would like to evaluate, and when you and Benny did do the research and really kind of nail down some places, is we have a saying in the software world that Warahana might know or maybe not, but it's at least the thing that my family does. And we always say, do the hard things first. And so let's not pick the easy ones, because we want to fail fast, in that we want to learn from what's difficult. Do we have problems with the drone? Is it too far? Is a motorbike not going to work? Can we, all of the hard things we want to identify first. So keep that in mind when you're selecting locations, that we don't want to go for the easy fruit on the tree. We want to go for the very hard ones, because if we can do the hard ones, the other ones will be very easy.
Okay.
So we want to learn and fail fast. I know Warahana doesn't want us to fail because she doesn't want to portray that. But when it comes to designing a system or laying something out, it's always best to think of the most difficult cases first.
I think that's a great idea, to get the 3 villages that are together.
Yeah.
I think that's excellent.
Yeah, and it doesn't mean we can't put a borehole. It just means we have to really be committed to that spot. So
say again.
You go ahead, Ann.
I just said, it's a great idea to put the health hub in with the 3 villages that are really close together. But I think, like Kevin was going to say, for me, I was thinking they don't have a borehole yet, so then we don't know how their reaction, how they'll take care of the borehole and so forth. So like their investment in it, right?
Yeah, that's one thing for sure. I think the other thing is that we're trying to reduce our capital initially so that we can be successful. So if we have to put a borehole in, unless we get that borehole donated, it will result in another $5,000 to $7,000 in capital. That's why I originally said, Salam, I'd like you to look in places we've already done those capital investments.
Yeah, so I think that because those first 2 are pilots, I also agree with the Presido that we should do one with where the 3 communities are gathered. Though we'll have to put a borehole there to be successful, and then one at Damdaboli, where we already have a borehole in the community center, and maybe that could also give us some good comparison. The grant writer would know the actual cost of putting up a health hub with a borehole together, and cost of just putting up a health hub alone that already have a borehole. So yeah, I think we can go with the third one, but yeah, like you said, that would require that we drill a borehole there.
And so my question is, if you're looking at, we have a saying, and I think you probably don't know it, but you may know it. If you were looking at, there's a saying, it says like, the distance is by how the crow flies, right? So line of sight. Do you know what I mean? Not following the road, the way the bird flies.
Yeah.
Okay, so a crow is a bird that we have here in the U.S. I don't know if you have crows, doesn't matter. But
Yeah, we have.
Okay, so by the way the crow flies, how far is the first, let's just call it, I don't care what we call it, but Health Hub 1 and Health Hub 2. As the crow flies, what's the distance, in your opinion? I'll look at it later when I get the coordinates, but what's the distance from the Tamale office as the crow flies to Health Hub 1?
To Health Hub 1, I would say 1 hour, 30 minutes driving.
Okay, but how about as line of sight, as the
2.
crow flies?
How this with the help 2?
No, with the Health Hub 1, how long would it take if a crow flew there?
So in this case, referring to a drone, right?
Yes.
A drone maybe 15 to 20 minutes.
Okay.
Because they actually move very fast.
Yeah. Okay. So that's Health Hub 1. And I'm sorry, just for the Presidue's clarification, because I probably won't remember. But is this the 3-village combo?
No, this is the one village. It's also a very big village.
Okay, one big village is about 15
Yes.
minutes to 20 minutes as the crow flies from the Tamale office.
Yes.
And then Health Hub 2, which is the 3-village combo, how far would that be as the crow flies?
Maybe 30 minutes.
Okay. So those are pretty good distances for us to test. Like I said, I don't want to pick the easy fruit. Those seem fairly difficult.
Yeah.
Do you agree? Or do you think that there are villages that we will, in the northern region only? Okay, so now the last question. If we're dealing with the warehouse at the Tamale office, as the crow flies, what would be the furthest village or borehole that we've either put in or we would put in a health hub in the northern region of Ghana?
I think it will be approximately via a drone.
The farthest that we would go.
Yes, it will be maybe so far what we've done. It will be this 20 to 30 minutes. Yeah, beyond, because we did a borehole beyond the first community of where the first community as suggested for the health hub. Beyond that community, we've done a particular borehole, which is also about 15 to 20 minutes drive away from the first community. So I would say so far with what we've done, where our boreholes are located, 20 to 30 minutes. And then the closest to our warehouse from so far what we've done would be 45 minutes drive. And if 45 minutes drive, maybe 10 to 15 minutes flying a drone, yeah.
Okay, so it sounds like if I was to make a blanket statement and say the drone that's going to fly from line of sight, using line of sight or as the crow flies from our Tamale office would be less than 45 minutes.
Yes.
That
to
would be
any of our locations.
any of our locations.
Yes.
So 45 minutes there, 45 minutes back.
Yes.
Okay, and so the ones that you're picking are approximately 20 to 30 minutes. Is that correct? Hub 1 and Hub 2.
Yes.
So this seems like a pretty representative sample of what we would be doing from that warehouse in Tamale. If we're using a drone or we're using a motorbike, it doesn't matter. We're using two examples that are in the average distance or maybe a little longer than our longest one.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Sorry for that. I'm just trying to understand so Benny can understand too when he researches drones and I research drones, what our total distance is. And we probably need about 2 hours of flight time, maybe an hour 45. Does that make sense, Benny?
Yes, it does.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Sorry for the divergence.
I like the way you analyze stuff to arrive at conclusions. Yes, I didn't know where all these questions were leading to.
I did.
The president knew because she lives with me and she knows me.
She's used to you, yes.
She's very
I'm getting used to.
good. Okay, so okay, that's helpful. Now the other thing, and I think it's on your agenda, that one more thing that we should touch on,
Okay.
and that's the nurses. Where
So
where are we,
I just
Salam,
want to.
on choosing the nurses who are going to be the nurse entrepreneurs?
Okay, so I'm looking at a lady and a guy.
Okay.
I haven't spoken to any of them, but I have documented their names,
Okay.
and with the hope that as and when we want to move, I would engage the two of them. So the lady is definitely the woman I have spoken about,
Okay.
and the other guy is one of them who has vaccine experience
Okay.
that I know of, and he has also volunteered with us a couple of times.
Okay.
Then just on that, you give us a task, myself and Warahana, to find out supplies for typhoid and hepatitis B vaccines and meningitis.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So just before I forget, before the close of the meeting this afternoon, myself, Warahana, and the district health director for Dushigu municipality, we had a almost 2 hours meeting via phone.
Uh-huh.
And because we have tried exploring um, identifying independent suppliers for typhoid conjugates, and
Uh-huh.
we are not getting any. We got some referrals to some private hospitals in Accra that provide the vaccines. One of them is, we call them Nyaho Nyaho Medical Center,
Okay.
which we spoke to, and they said they were not willing to disclose to us who supplies to them.
Aye.
However, if we want, we can have some form of arrangement with them and they can supply to us. But the cost at which they said they were administering a vaccine for typhoid was, for me, is expensive. It's 372 Ghana cedis, which is about $37
Jesus.
for a typhoid vaccine. So we've left it there, and we spoke. So we spoke with the municipal health director, trying to see if we could leverage the Ghana health systems to get the typhoid vaccine.
Yeah.
One thing that came clear was that the Gavi International and UNICEF
Uh-huh.
procure and supply vaccines to the government of Ghana.
Yeah.
And these two organizations do not deal with private businesses or non-governmental organizations or individuals. They only deal with government.
Right.
And over the years, though government is owing them because these vaccines are very expensive,
Mm-hmm.
and over the years they've not been able to explore typhoid for Ghana government because one, screening for typhoid is expensive because typhoid test kits are actually expensive. And so government has no very good data of how many people get infected with typhoid because there has not been that aggressive screening on typhoid. And they don't also have enough data on typhoid resistance to antibiotics.
Yeah.
Sorry, antibiotics, resistance of antibiotics to typhoid treatments.
Yeah, and so Salam, this is a good thing. You need to give the scientific research paper I wrote to them.
Yes, I'll share that with the health
Yeah,
director.
because
So,
that's why I wrote it, because it is detailed and it explicitly describes how the version of typhoid that is in Ghana is resistant to antibiotics, and the only way to treat is with the vaccine. So please share that document.
yes, I will do that. So they were encouraging that if we can do more of typhoid screening and um, be sharing our reports with them, and also they will not be able to, because they do not have that arrangement, that contract with UNICEF or Gavi International. They cannot procure the typhoid vaccines from them for us, because government has no that arrangement with them. However, as the district health director, he also know a supplier who supply other vaccines like hepatitis B and meningitis. And before you procure vaccines from any supplier, the supplier, first of all, there is a license you need to hold. There's a license you need.
The supplier what?
The supplier require that you provide a license from your organization. There's a license you need to hold in order to be able to buy vaccines.
Okay.
So, but his office, the health directorate, is willing to come in and raise a certificate of is this a certificate of non-availability? You can correct me, Warahana.
Yes,
Yes.
non-availability. Yeah.
Yes. So they can come in and raise a certificate of non-availability. That's what they call that certificate. And they will use that certificate to procure from any supplier we identify that has the typhoid vaccines to supply to us.
Okay.
Now, when they procure the vaccines, because we do not have the cold fridges for vaccines, the health directorate is willing to store our vaccines. I'm just using our vaccines for the typhoid vaccines and the hepatitis B that we procure. They are willing to provide storage for that for us.
Okay,
and help us.
That's good, but know that our plan, and this is what I don't know, and this is what I envisioned. So in the tamale office, I expected there to be cold storage in the warehouse.
Okay.
For the things that need to be refrigerated. Maybe that's the typhoid, maybe it's not. Because remember, the typhoid vaccine can go 7 days at 40°C.
Yeah.
And so this is maybe, depending on our supply chain, this may be something that we need to do and store refrigerated in the warehouse, and then we have 7 days to deliver it and execute it. Or it may be that we procure the supply in a just-in-time manner, where we then procure it, literally fly it by drone to the health hub, and they administer it within 7 days, and we don't need a cold chain.
Okay.
So the cold chain is dependent. The cold chain is not for the last mile, as it's called. The last mile is from our warehouse to the health hub. That's what I'll refer to as the last mile. It may be more miles, but let's just call it the last mile. The last mile of delivery does not need a cold chain.
Okay.
The miles before that may need a cold chain, up until our warehouse in Tamale.
Okay.
And so one thing I want to be really clear about, and it's really clear in the paper, is that we will not spend any dollars on testing for a typhoid, period. It's a complete waste. We will only spend money on vaccinations of typhoid. So if people want to see the research, they should read the paper and not wait for us to gather information about how many people are dying.
Sure, yeah.
So that,
or maybe they should bring us money to do the test for them.
Yeah, I'm not doing that. We're not spending any dollars on that. And Warahana can be clear on that as well, is that in her writings of research, we will be tracking, but we're not going to record deaths for them, so they can determine if they have a problem or not. We've already identified the problem. The science is in the paper I wrote, and if they want to understand it, they should read it, period.
Yeah. So with the hepatitis B, we've identified a supplier who is giving us a range of. So according to the supplier, the price will depend on the request we make. Maybe if we are asking for 1,000, 500, 100, 200, whatever the quantity.
Yeah.
But he's giving us between $100 to $150 for 10 people.
Okay.
And
I think
I think
oh, go ahead.
yes. So and there's a routine for hepatitis B vaccination.
Mm-hmm.
You have to get at least 3 jabs.
Yeah. Right, and
Yeah.
that's going to be up to the RN nurse to do. So
Yes. So
she
good. So on the administration of the vaccine too, Warahana may correct me if I am wrong. The Ghana Health Service also have a policy on vaccinations that a community health hub or a CHIPS compound or a nursing station can have their own cold storage, have maybe a day or two within a week where people can come to the hub and get vaccinated. However, the Ghana Health Service from the headquarters have issued a directive and assigned community nurses to every zone of vaccination. So every district is divided into zonal centers for vaccination. So Gushegu, for instance, have about 37 zones, and the 37 zones are further divided into sub-districts, and each sub-district is taken care of by a disease control officer. And each zone under a sub-district is assigned a community health nurse and a community health committee. So as a health hub that want to administer vaccines, we have to, our health volunteers, maybe the RN or any volunteer who would come from our side for the vaccinations, would have to work with the community health professional who is assigned by the government to the zone. And they have some days within the week that you must take the vaccines from your health hub with the community health professional assigned by the government to individual communities to administer these vaccines and to do health outreach. And they have, they call it, is it vaccine point or something like that? Or is it health point in the community? So they have a place, either it is the chief palace or at a school within in the community, which is designated for that. So if the hub is coming to community A tomorrow, the community health professional assigned to that zone will first inform that zone that tomorrow hub A with the community health professional is coming to community B to administer vaccines. And then the zonal health committee will do the announcement, inform the communities so that women, children, pregnant women, they all gather there and then they take the vaccinations. So this is how the system works. So I asked him that our professionals are volunteers. Some of them do not have experience because they've not been employed by the government yet. And so do we require any license for them to administer vaccines? Do they require any license so that we can let them know? And he said, generally, if you bring a nurse who is working in a hospital, for instance, to come and administer vaccination, it's not allowed. But the health directorate can train our volunteers for a number of days. If we say, or our RNs and other volunteers for a number of days, and let them observe and also be able to administer these vaccinations. So generally, that is where we got to. Maybe I might have left some things out, so I will let Warahana come in, and
Yeah.
if I've left some things out, she
And
can
I
also
just
add.
want to make sure that we're talking about the same thing, in that the way that the health hub works is there is one RN entrepreneur. What that person does on the ground with regards to regulations, vaccinations, etc., is all up to them. We will not have major vaccination days. The RN who is the entrepreneur will say, I need 5 doses. They'll be given 5 doses of typhoid vaccination. When those 5 or 3 are used, the smart grid will tell the drone controller to put 3 more on board the shipment. And then the nurse will pay for those vaccinations, and we will deliver them. So we're not talking about mass vaccination events. We're only talking about the health hub executing what it needs to execute based on what the people are willing to pay. If we have subsidies, they will come at a discount to what we sell them to, but we will be selling, essentially, we are the supply chain. So just like with the hepatitis vaccines, they can go 4 days. In the scientific paper I wrote, they can go 4 days without a cold at 40 degrees C. So this is why the delivery of the supply chain to the health hubs, the timing is important, is because if we cannot have a cold chain for that last mile, it means significant savings, because that last mile for the cold chain is what's so expensive. Because to run the refrigerator and the cold chain out to the health hub is where the most expense will be. We'll have huge expenses in solar, in batteries, etc., etc.
Yeah.
Are you saying that, Salam? Is he talking about mass inoculations going on, or is he just talking about us being able to receive the vaccines and we need some kind of certificate for it?
No, so he was just talking about, he wasn't, and I am also, I didn't have that information that maybe we could provide a cold storage for the vaccines at the warehouse.
Uh-huh.
So on that level, he was just telling us how we could leverage their facilities, because they already have vaccine centers with cold storages.
Yeah.
And the second part of it was more or less a semi-mass vaccination, like Kelvin just said, which is now clear to us now that we are not interested in doing that. Because when I asked him about meningitis, he said they have enough meningitis vaccines and other vaccines as well.
Uh-huh.
Unfortunately, their major constraint has been that most of these communities are remote, and the Ghana Health Services took a step to build these cheap compounds. I think myself and Kelvin spoke about cheap compounds.
Yeah.
But the cheap compounds has been kept at vantage points where it will be accessible to receive supplies, just like we are also going to do with our health hubs. It will be accessible for these communities to also come to. But the communities, most of them are still very far from the cheap compounds.
Mm-hmm.
Second, there's lack of education when it comes to vaccinations. So there are times, if you don't do outreach programs, if you don't go to the communities and educate them why they need to take the vaccines, etc., there are some kind of mindset that some of them form, that when you say you are going to inject a child, they might be thinking, oh, you want to give them some disease, use them for some experiments,
Yeah.
those kind of mindsets. So that is where he brought in about the outreach.
Right,
But
and
I think
I think in our model, Salam, is
that
that the reason. So let's picture the anchor for the health hub, which is the well.
yeah,
So the anchor is what brings people there. Now, directly adjacent to the well is the health hub. And the health hub, that RN entrepreneur, if she wants to drum up business and sell products and make her own wage, she's going to have to stand at that well and explain to people why that's important.
Because I think too, we're keep in mind like the
As
health
opposed
hub,
to her going to the village. Sorry.
the health hub is going to take care of more than vaccines. If there's a snake
Yeah.
bite, if there's something else.
Potentially,
So,
yeah. Snake bite's a little tricky because of cold.
Right.
But let's just say a wound.
Yeah.
If there's a wound where someone needs something bandaged, she's also going to be standing at that well, informing them that, hey, this is our new health hub. I'm the RN. And when you have concerns about medications or vaccinations or whatever, you come to me. And I am at the well that you're walking to every day anyhow. So you're guaranteed to have foot traffic in front of that health community, in front of that hub. There's so she doesn't have the individual RN entrepreneur does not need to go to the village and say she may or he may to develop a rapport. But whatever it is, she's already got a captive audience because of our anchor, and that's the well. That's why the well and the hub have to be literally right next door, because the nurse needs clean water to treat, but it's also where the community comes to get water.
okay.
So the idea is if the RN nurse entrepreneur is going to do business and be successful, she or he better get out there and hustle all those people that are coming to the well and explain to them the importance of a vaccine, the importance of properly dressing a wound, the importance of treating high blood pressure, the importance of those things.
Yeah,
So,
I think I
do you
I get
understand?
that.
You
I
understand?
understand that.
Okay.
But I have a question. So one concern that was raised, these remote areas, Ghana, we have a health insurance card, and the health insurance uh, people, some wealthy individuals or some average individuals, because they are not actually expensive to obtain, they are government health insurance cards, and almost everyone now has a health insurance card, especially those in the remote villages, because it reduces their cost when they go to the hospital.
Uh-huh.
So he said most of these people have health insurance, and so our facility should also our facilities, let me put it that way, should also get health insurance approvals so that they can be onboarded on the health insurance. So medications that are captured for by health insurance, if a patient comes to the facility and present a valid health insurance, the patient get treated freely and walk away. But the concern I had was that, yes, it's a very good way, but health insurance, you have to, because of their payment schedules, because at the end of the day, you have to file your receipts or your invoices reflecting the supplies that were captured by health insurance to government, the health insurance office, and health insurance pays the facility for those treatments. Now, it takes about 3 months to get claims when it comes to health insurance. So my question is, with this, how are the RNs going to be sustainable if most of the patients shows up with health insurance and the RN have to wait for maybe 3 months to get paid for the treatments made with health insurance from government? The
Yeah.
second question is, these vaccines that we want to procure, are the vaccines also going to be a one-time thing, or these vaccines we are procuring for example, the typhoid is going to be free. Are we offering these vaccines to the communities for free, just for one time? And let's say uh, 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 with hepatitis B, we are offering it the full dose, which is the 3 times to the communities for free. Or it's also just going to be the way the other supplies like medications will be done. The RN gets the first consignment for free, and then after that they pays for more. They pay for to replenish and just keep rolling it on.
Yeah, so let's take the health insurance cards. Obviously, that question, that's really good to know. But we can solve that one of two ways. Either we can capture the insurance information. I would rather not do this. Let's do the way I'd prefer. The way I'd prefer to do this is to give the RN entrepreneur a 3-month supply. Now they can sell 3 months at a rate so that they can get reimbursed from the health insurance company. Okay, right? So if they sell blood pressure medication today, they can submit that for payment in 3 months, knowing that in 3 months they'll get paid, but they still have a supply, an expected supply of blood pressure medication that has been given initially to them to cover them until they get that payment from the government. Does that make sense?
Yes, yes.
So either we increase the supply, the initial supply.
Possible first, Salam. Do you think that would be possible?
Yes, if they can stay, if we can sustain them for the period till they get claims and can buy, I think that is the best way to go.
Mm-hmm. So that's
Because we
one.
do not want them to get exhausted because they've not gotten uh, payment from government. People will come to the hub and then they cannot treat them.
Right, right.
Yeah.
And so the biggest, it's funny because the biggest job of the RN entrepreneur is going to be communication and controlling expectations with their clients or their patients. So they're going to need to communicate everything that's going on if they want those people to come back. Otherwise, like you said, they'll just show up and there'll be no supplies. But if the RN entrepreneur is communicating, wow, we are seeing a huge outbreak in typhoid. We're out of vaccines. Please bear with us while we get more. That person will come back. Right?
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, so they're going to need to manage their own business. So that's one way that we could handle the insurance, is essentially supply them with enough until the government reimburses. The second way we could do it, which I prefer not to do, is for us to get in the middle and do the RN entrepreneur a favor by billing the government with the insurance card information and us wait for the payment from the government.
I agree with
Okay.
that too, because then
It definitely puts a bigger burden on us, which is what I don't want. But I understand.
We are wanting, correct me if I'm wrong, to create RN entrepreneurs, and so we're helping them, giving them this capital to start. So we don't want them dependent on us, so we can just walk away in a sense and say, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we're their supply chain.
Right.
Right. And we're not only their supply chain, but we're their discount supply chain. We're the ones that are giving them the best medications at the best prices and that may be subsidized. So those are the two
Yeah,
options.
I think the first option would work best and would not have them depend on us getting in the middle for them all the time.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I agree too. Just know that there are options there that we could do if we need to. There's going to need to be a lot of coordination. And this is why it's important that we bring the nurses on as soon as possible. because we need that RN nurse entrepreneur to say, I can't do that because of something we didn't think of.
That's true.
Right? So that's why we need to get the core team all here in this same room, maybe the Ghana team meeting and not this meeting, but I hear what you're saying. So that's the way I would address the insurance card, is that we will increase their supply, or maybe if they show us that maybe it can be used like a line of credit. When Warahana is working on gathering information, maybe one of the fields can be, did they provide an insurance card and what was the number, for example, on the card? And so now if they gather that, we can extend them like a line of credit and say, okay, that one doesn't count. We know you're going to get the money for that. We can send you another dose.
Okay. Yeah, I think that is also an option.
Yeah, maybe that's the hybrid option. Instead of doing the processing for them, we say you process it, but flag it in that you're expecting a refund from the government on that medication, so that we can then extend them additional capital. Instead of giving them 3 months at a time, right off the bat, we give them 1 month, and then we tell them to flag everything that comes in insurance that they're expecting to get reimbursed for, and then we're willing to send drugs knowing they're going to pay in the later.
Okay. So my second question,
Yeah, the second one is about the vaccination.
The vaccine, yes.
Yeah, can you repeat it again? I can't remember it. I'm sorry.
Yes. So are we providing a one-time vaccination just like any other medical supplies to our health hubs, or these the vaccinations is going to be for free to the communities, and as and when we have more money to buy more vaccinations, we buy and just administer and go and administer?
Yeah, it's a good question. And I think that ideally it would be that we can use a drone. Luke, I'm going to get to you in a second. We could use a drone to do more frequent deliveries, right? Because this helps us with the 4-day hepatitis vaccine being stable and the temperature, as well as the typhoid being stable. The more frequent we do deliveries, the easier it is for them, the easier it is for us. But it also means that if we send 4 or 5 typhoid vaccines out and they all get used up, and they're going to need to collect something, we will get them the best price we can with Warahana's help to subsidize the typhoid vaccines on a grant. And if we can get Warahana to bring in $100,000 strictly for typhoid vaccines, then we will sell them, we will give them out. But if Warahana can't get $100,000 for typhoid vaccines, the RN entrepreneurs are going to have to buy them from us for some price until we get another individual to supply them, or another grant, or we give some discounted rate and we say, okay, we'll knock $3 off of every one. That's the best we can do.
What did you have, Luke?
Guys, I gotta go.
Okay, no problem. Thanks for joining us, and we will talk with you soon.
Okay, no problem.
Hope you feel better, and we appreciate you being here.
Okay, no problem. Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye. So, Salam, does that make sense?
Yeah, so originally I was thinking that we were providing the vaccinations for free. And so I think that is also the idea the health director also got when we spoke on phone. And that was why he suggested the administration process. Because he said that I think there's this NGO called Global Fund that has given them enough motorbikes to for vaccination purposes. They are not giving them vaccines, but they have given them logistics, which is motorbikes. Each zone, if each vaccination zone have motorbikes assigned to them to just deliver vaccines from the vaccine center at the district capital to all of these communities. And so the thinking was that we are bringing vaccines on board to also help the communities for free. And so he was saying that if that is the case, we do not need to buy a motorbike. Their challenge now is fueling, cost of fueling, and maybe some stipend for food and other things. So we could bring our vaccines and they could help us administer. So I just wanted to get that clarification. But I also understand what you are saying. I think there are some people who are also providing hepatitis B vaccines at cost.
Uh-huh.
So, for instance, if we get hepatitis B vaccine for, let's say, $100 for 10 people, that is about $10 per person.
Yeah.
Then we just give it to the people at the same price at $10.
Exactly.
And yeah, and the issue with that is that most of the community members are not able to afford the cost of vaccinations. And that is why they don't get vaccinated,
Mm-hmm.
because these are very low income areas.
Mm-hmm.
And so someone might be able to raise $10 and come for the first jab and not able to raise another $10 for the second, or maybe come for the first, second, and not able to come for the third. And
Yeah.
it just becomes useless taking the first two or even the first jab. So I just needed to get that clarification. Maybe Warahana can also come in, and if I left some things out or some clarifications. But I am clear with what you said.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm hopeful.
Warahana,
Yeah. Go ahead.
please.
Yes. So Salam has said pretty much everything. With the issue of the Ghana health insurance, most of the time when you go to a hospital, you are given the less expensive drugs under the health insurance, and then the very expensive ones they write it for you to go and buy, because of the payment delays from the Ghana health insurance. Sometimes it even takes more than 3 months, but we'll see how the RN nurses will navigate that. Another thing that he discussed that could reduce the cost burdens on the RNs was they being able to get health professionals from the district to support them. So let's say you have one RN manning a hub. It could come to a point that they get overwhelmed with patients, assuming the hub that we are going to set up in between the three villages.
Mm-hmm.
I'm expecting like huge turnouts from people, right?
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to a point where the RN needs help, there's a possibility of they getting a health professional from the government to support them.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just wondering, right? So this, I'm trying to get the model really, really clear.
Mm-hmm.
So someone comes to the RN to run a test. Now there will be no more mass like health screening exercises. Someone would come to the hub, or yeah, the hub to run a test, and then based on the outcome of their test. So for example, let's say I come to the station to run a Hep B test and then it comes out negative,
Yeah.
then the RN will give you the vaccine.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, that's clear. And for the vaccines that are free, would we get them from the the regional health vaccine? I'm not sure the correct name, but from the government, are we going to get the free vaccines from the government, store them in the Tamale office, and then dispatch them to the RN stations as and when needed? And would those also be free since we are getting them free from the government?
Yeah, this is a good question. So the way you can think of the warehouse in Tamale is a supply chain hub for the
Okay.
health hubs. So
Hmm.
everything that the warehouse can get for free will be distributed for free. Everything the warehouse can get subsidized will go out at the subsidized price. Everything that they can't get subsidized will go out at whatever retail price or wholesale price. And so we are simply their supplier, making their distribution of medications and treatments easy. So there will be no markup on any product that we can get. The advantage of the Health Hub is that the hub will be supplying, the warehouse will be supplying multiple hubs. So the bigger the network becomes of health hubs, the bigger the tamale warehouse becomes, meaning we can buy 100 instead of 10 of one vaccine. Okay. So now we'll get it at a lower price. Now that we get it at a lower price, we will sell it at a lower price to the RN.
Okay.
So really the warehouse in Tamale, the office that is holding the medications that the drone is going to fly from, will be distributing medications at cost.
Okay.
To all of the hubs. And if there is someone who steps up and says in the community, I want to buy blood pressure medication for 100 people, great. The next 100 doses that go out are all free. When Warahana, you land a typhoid vaccination grant, all the medications that go out from that point until every dollar of that grant is spent is free.
Okay.
So the idea is we are the supplier and we can buy it bulk while integrating donations from the community, the government, or grants into this supply chain so that the RN entrepreneur gets the best price possible, which means that makes it affordable for members of the villages, if not free, but it also means that they can, what they collect for their own wages, they can collect as well. So they might get it for free and sell it for 50 cents US. That's fine. We don't control their pricing because at the end of the day, unless it's for a grant maybe, but if we're giving them a discount and they're adding 50 cents per dose that they sell, that's fine. If the people in the community can pay it, great. But if they make it $1 and everyone stops coming to them, that's their problem. Then they will be replaced as the franchisee, RN nurse, entrepreneur in the hub because they're not treating people. Their markup is too high. And we will know that because we will see the people that are treating. That's why I say the RN entrepreneur is going to have to hustle to sell medications or give medications away, because every time they give a medication away that they get for free, that shows us as an organization they're doing their job. And every time they sell a medication, whatever they sold it for, we don't even care. The fact that they sold it and they're ordering more, that means supply and demand are being met at an equilibrium price at the health hub.
Okay.
And so
Salam.
And so that's how the supply chain will work. So we'll continuously buy it as low a prices as we can, store as much as we can. This is where someone like Benny would be the person who's doing the coordination of all of these medications, managing the health hub warehouse in Tamale, and putting the drugs, tracking the payments, putting all of this on the drone and flying it out. Does that make sense to everyone, or am I just not making sense today? Which is totally fine.
Yeah.
You are
It's
making
clear.
a lot of sense. And now I see why the drone I see why the drone might be the best option. I mean, yes. Salam. I don't know if the gentleman also mentioned some requirements on the structure, since it's part of the initial setup will be given to the RNs. Like the infrastructure building, I mean.
Okay. So I think
One second before you start, Salam, I'm going to go ahead and let Elaina and Daniel go because I think this is turning more into the Health Hub discussion that board members can
yeah.
be released from. So, Elaina and Daniel, if you guys want to drop off, it's understandable, and we'll continue the discussion.
But for the rest of those who want to continue with the discussion, board members or not, please stay, because launching a new project like this takes a lot of communication. So I appreciate you all being here for this long.
Yes, definitely.
All right, I'll see you guys next week.
Okay, thank
Bye.
you,
Thank you.
Danny.
Thanks, Danny.
Have a good week, guys.
Okay, thanks,
Okay.
Elaina.
Bye-bye.
Of course.
Okay. So with the structure, the requirements is so if it was going to be a private health hub and not initiated by a non-profit, there would have been some certification and some requirements by the. I think I'll get the name of the government health organization that is in charge of that and share. Um, but uh, we are simply looking at a very simple facility. We can where we will have a waiting or reception area. This can just be a pavilion with a pavilion that we will raise a short wall around the pavilion and put some furniture in it, and then we can have maybe 2 rooms, and one of those rooms could be divided to cater for when there's need to admit someone. The person is supposed to take some drips, maybe both for both men and women, just a 4-bed area or something, and another room where we can divide that and have a dispensary unit, like a pharmacy unit, where our medications will be kept well ventilated. Uh, we have part of that for maybe a small cubicle. It could also be a division of the same room for a lab, like testing for this, just running tests to identify what ailments. And
looking for maybe a microscope where they can look in for worms and parasites in the stool or whatever it might be that they need to do.
yes, and then maybe another small area for, let's say, the nurses station or something. I think for the physical examination, that can be done at the waiting area, maybe the pavilion that we will build. So with the structure, the health director actually said, because we're a non-profits and the government understand that we are also doing this to help the people. So, and he is also going to come on board and vouch for us.
Okay.
They will not be strict. They won't be very strict on us when it comes to standard, because I made him understand that this is not something we want to spend huge sums of monies on. So they would waiver the certification, the license to build. They would also waiver, because ideally he said we should have 3 rooms. We should have um, a waiting area, and I mean, just like the normal cheap compounds that government built, which is very expensive. But I described the kind of structure we're looking at, and this is where we arrived at, and he said it was doable. He also said that he would like that I come over and to Bushegu Municipal, and then he will also take me to his superiors, and we can have a conclusive discussion. So with that opportunity or laxity for us to design our own structure, I know Kevin kind of a good architecture as well, because I like the drawings you did when we were trying to build up something in Mexico. So
Yeah.
maybe you can just sketch something and we can look at it with the explanation I have given, the areas, and also with the presido being a medical professional, he can also advise the things, the areas we need to have.
Yeah.
so that you can just draw a simple structure and we can use that to implement. I also mentioned to him that we wanted to just use the communities to provide us MAD, like the sun.
Yeah.
We use that to build. And he said with that, they don't compromise because those buildings can collapse when there is heavy rains because it's sun. It's just it's mad buildings. So they are very strict on the use of blocks.
So it has to be a block building.
It has to have, yes, it has to be a block building. They are very strict on that one. So I think that's the only requirements. It just has to be a block building.
Okay, so one thing that I think is critical is that the RN entrepreneurs get on this call and make sure that they're providing feedback on what they need in the rooms to be successful as well.
So I think we invite them like under the idea of like, we want to get your feedback, because I can advise being a nurse in the US, but I can't really advise so much being out in Ghana. So I think invite them, but not make it as though like they're committed, but it's just kind of asking them to come in, seeing their involvement, seeing how they react with or interact with the team, and kind of.
So how about? Okay, so yeah, I think we can invite them in and not just make them know they are the RN yet. Yeah, okay. So that they can also provide their expertise.
Yeah.
But I think it should just be a simple structure. I believe that Kevin can draw something very simple.
Yeah, and I think thank you for your vote of confidence, everyone. So, but I think the key is to get these RN entrepreneurs to realize, like Warahana said, like she has a concern that if we put the health hub in between 3 villages, that nurse may become overwhelmed. And I think we have to clarify in our minds. And Benny, I know you're being really quiet, so I want to hear from you on this. Is that do we want to put a second RN entrepreneur when the demand is too great in the same hub, so that they, I won't say compete, but they complement and are backups for each other in case one falls ill or something like this? Or and they both have their own, they both compete for the same individuals to treat, right, that are coming to the hub. So if the line is too long over there and you trust this RN just as much, you go over there. Or if you like this male nurse, you go over here. And if you like the female nurse, you go over here. And they're responsible for their own budgets, their own everything, their own wages and everything. Or is it that we want the one RN that we place as the RN entrepreneur to hire RNs under them and midwives under them? Does that make, and so Benny, does that make sense to you? And what are your thoughts on that? How would you deal with the capacity issue, as Warahana pointed out, if we need to add more RNs? How would you do that?
Yep. So if we are having an increased number of patients, there will definitely be the need to also increase our workforce. But I wouldn't go with the option of having 2 of them compete, or the patients having to choose which nurse they want. That kind of competition could lead to a confusion between the 2 nurses. So if we want them to work together, we could be looking at a way they could actually do it without necessarily having to. Over here, people see competition to be different. Most competition is not that healthy, so it can lead to, yes. But we could have someone in addition to them. We let them understand that they are working together for a common goal, and yeah. So that is my idea on that.
Yeah, that's really good, because here in the U.S. we would go for the competition. And so this is good to know that's not seen as a good thing. So I think in Warahana's example, where we put the hub in between 3 villages. If the RN gets overwhelmed, we would simply advise them to hire their own midwife, their own additional nurse, or seek a individual from the government. But don't come to us with that problem if you've got too much work. Figure it out as you're an entrepreneur and you have to deal with increased demand. Is that what you're saying, Benny?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, and Warahana, how do you feel about that?
Yes, we can explore that option, but in as much as we're establishing these people to be entrepreneurs and be able to run the businesses on their own, we want them to be able to succeed, right?
Yeah.
So let's say we can have a quarterly or yearly evaluation with them
Mm-hmm.
just to get their opinion and some challenges that they faced.
Mm-hmm.
And if in the coming months or years or quarters, there are things that we can actually intervene,
Yeah.
then we will. Because at the end of the day, we want them to be able to succeed. Because once they succeed, then we have a lot of success stories to write about.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Absolutely.
completely
I think,
agree.
definitely building them up for success, setting them up for success, because nursing is the most trusted profession in the world year after year after year. So it's important to take that the community members, the village members, the people that are coming to see them have that trust in that nurse. So that's very important to empower them for that.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
and I think that too, that inviting them, obviously they would be welcome to come to any Friday meeting as an RN entrepreneur health hub manager, and comment or provide any feedback about both what's working good but also what's working bad.
Yes.
So I think that that review cycle or that openness, it's not just throw them into the health hub and say fend for yourself, but it's also not us babysitting them. If they see a need for a midwife and they can afford to hire one, then they should do that, as opposed to coming to us and saying, I need a midwife, and expecting us to find, because that's not our job.
Okay.
Yes.
So I
And
think
so,
the
Salam, how do you feel about that?
yes, I think that's a very good idea. When we spoke to the health director, I think the World Bank is running a project similar to what we are about to do.
Uh-huh.
And what the World Bank is doing is that they are leveraging on existing chip compounds that are built by government
Uh-huh.
and are not well resourced with supplies and medical professionals. So
Yeah.
World Bank comes in and assign physicians to these chip compounds, and those physicians are being paid by World Bank.
Mm-hmm.
And then they provide medications to the chip compounds quarterly, and then they just treat people. So I think that one comment you made, which is very good, is that if an RN entrepreneur is getting overwhelmed, they can write to the government because they are serving the people, and the people are the government.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
That I have this health facility here. I am People are showing up. I am getting overwhelmed, and I need you to give me a midwife, give me a community health nurse, give me that. And those midwives and nurses are going to come to the facility on the bill of the government
Uh-huh.
and not give basic needs or the RN. And I think Warhana may correct me. I think the director said this was something doable, and that if we set up and we want government to uh, uh, give us some nurses or whatever to support our RNs, they were willing to do that. Because
Yes.
mind you, initially,
I actually
initially,
mentioned it in my initial comment.
yes, yes. The revenue the RN may generate for the first couple of months may not be enough to even pay the RN because of startup costs and also maybe these insurance issues. If at the end of the day, most of the supplies goes to people who come with insurance, then the RN would generate very little internal revenue. to even sustain themselves. So, like you said, we giving them maybe some credit line or some huge supplies might be enough to sustain them, but might not be enough for the RN to recruit another person on his or her own bill.
Right.
So getting someone from government may be of great help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's the key is that, Salam, I see your role in the health hubs as visiting them, talking to them, and then suggesting that they write for additional support, and then guiding them through that and bringing the people together to make that happen.
Yeah.
Warahana, did you have something more on that?
No, but I agree with Salam's suggestion. Getting additional help from the government would be the best option.
Yeah. Yeah. And then is what happens is when we find that the 3 villages, it's too much, then we could deploy another RN entrepreneur if we have one. Right in that
Yeah.
same area, maybe another well, and it's just closer to one village than the other where the demand is coming from, or whatever. But I think we shouldn't be afraid to deploy health hubs if the demand is there. We should be willing to do that, but we should also, as Salam pointed out and Warahana pointed out, that we should leverage government agencies to enhance the health hub with whatever resources they can. If that's vaccinations or labor, it doesn't matter. They obviously have skin in the game as government individuals as well. And I think your point, Salam, about the location of the current chip facilities is that if we can leverage a chip facility that's not being used and put a well in, but we think it's in the right location, we should be willing to do that as well.
Okay.
So long as the government knows we're going to staff it with an RN entrepreneur based on this model.
Okay. Yeah.
And I think, Warahana,
We
you
can do that.
sorry?
I mean, we can do that. I can find out if there are some cheap compounds that are not utilized.
Yeah. And I
I
think
think
that,
the mayor can be able to give us that information.
great. And then I think the key is that if they've built the chip compound in the wrong place, we don't want any part of it.
Yeah.
They can have that. But we need to, but if it's in the right place and they just need an RN entrepreneur, we can do that. And we can do it well if it's not already there.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yes. Yes.
Great. And then Warahana had commented earlier about, and Salam, it's just been part of the discussion, so I want to wrap back to it. But you had talked about storage in the tamale warehouse or the office for all medications. And is what I would say to that is that if there is the need for blood supply or something that we don't want to or it doesn't make sense for us to store in our warehouse, we can simply fly the drone to wherever that is and pick it up at that warehouse. If that's a government agency or the World Health Organization warehouse or for vaccinations or whatever it is, we can fly the drone to the warehouse that it is, if it's not in ours, pick it up and make it part of the delivery to the health hub.
Is that something that would be common or would be done at a health hub? I mean, I'm just speaking from the U.S. We would not be giving blood out, in the villages without other medical personnel, but it may be different there in Ghana.
You mean blood?
Yeah, let's take the example. Let me go through the example. Let's say that someone because of malaria, I think this is correct. I'm not a doctor, but let's say that someone in the village needs a transfusion because they have a very bad case of malaria, and if they don't get it, they're going to die. So if this is the case, the RN entrepreneur identifies this, submits a order essentially through Smiley to Ben, and Ben is managing all of the inventory in our warehouse and tracking payments and doing his thing, and he sees the order come in for blood. But in his warehouse at the tamale office, we don't have any blood, whether it's we're out of it or we just don't ever stock it. Ben then identifies a Ghana Health Services office that has the type of blood that the RNs requested. Ben calls up the Ghana Health Services office and says, I need 2 pints of O positive blood. And they said, great, it'll be 10 US. So Ben says, the nurse will pay, or we have some grant that will fund this, or there's been a donation from a private donor or whatever. The money works out, and Ben sends the drone to the Ghana Health Services warehouse, picks up the 2 pints of O positive blood, and sends them directly to the RN in the health hub. The RN in the health hub then administers the 2 pints of blood and saves the person who has severe malaria from dying. Is that even possible, or is that?
From my understanding, I think the individual has to be cleared from malaria for a couple of years before they can have a blood transfusion. Is that correct?
Yes, and also such a case will be considered a critical case and will not be able will not be contained at the hub level.
Good.
It will have to be referred to the district hospital.
Okay.
So with the Ghana health regulations, medical health hubs and cheap compounds are just for basic health treatments.
Okay.
When a case is considered critical, it's referred to the district health
so
hospital.
let's go. That's good to know. That's perfect. So let's change the scenario in that the RN entrepreneur sees a patient who needs their 3rd hepatitis vaccine, and she knows they've gotten the previous 2 because she's given them, or he has, and so, but she doesn't have any hepatitis B vaccinations on hand. So she submits through the smart grid a request to Benny. Benny sees the request come in and communicates that it can be fulfilled within the next hour. So he doesn't have the hepatitis B vaccine available because he's out in the tamale office. So the Ghana Health Services office does have it. He communicates with the health hub, the Ghana Health Services warehouse, or wherever the vaccine is stored for hepatitis. He says, I'm going to send the drone over, load it, and we'll pay you. Or we get it for free, whatever. He handles the financial transaction piece, and he flies the drone based on just providing the drone coordinates to the Ghana Health Services. It lands. They put the 3rd vaccine for hepatitis in the drone, and the drone flies then to the health hub, and the nurse administers the vaccine. Does that work? And is that a way that we can get around inventory constraints in the tamale office?
Yes, I think we can do that. Also, I was also thinking that one way to solve this problem is to say we provide a seed supply of inventory to our health hubs. And since the RN is independent of us, we tell the RN that, look, your major role is to make sure you succeed, and we are going to support that you succeed.
Yeah.
We are going to be doing quarterly audits of your activities to see that you are succeeding, you have supplies in place. Now, if you are able to utilize all your supplies and you feel you can get supplies from any other place cheaper than you can get from Give Basic Needs, you can go ahead and procure that. But if you ever have constraint getting supplies, then reach out to us and we can facilitate to get you supplies.
Mm-hmm.
So I believe that way, sometimes they may be able to get some supplies quickly than they will get from us.
Mm-hmm.
For instance, if a hub in Damdaboli, which is just maybe 10, 20, or 30 minutes drive to or ride from the community to Bushegu, and someone is being admitted, and maybe the RN goes out of drips for malaria,
Mm-hmm.
they can just grab, or they can call someone in Bushegu, maybe I need 10 drips or 5 drips of malaria. Can you bring to my facility? And then they bring and they continue their treatment
Mm-hmm.
instead of maybe waiting for us for the next 45 minutes
Yeah.
or 1 hour to do the arrangement. And
Yeah.
yeah.
And I think that's what's critical, is that we have to treat them as entrepreneurs. So if they
Yes.
can get something cheaper, whether it's a bandage or a drip or something, they should do it. But they should also
Exactly.
let us know so that we could supply other hubs at a better price too.
Great. Yes.
And then I think the thing is that we treat them like entrepreneurs. We know that we're the support network, and we don't have, and we also confirm that we don't have to supply all the medications, all the everything. They're on their own. We're simply setting them up with a supply chain that they can rely on.
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
and Ben, how do you feel about that?
Yeah, I think that's okay. If they can get it, like if they can have it somewhere, that would save the life quicker than we having to send it all over. I think that is fine because our overall goal is to improve the health of people and make sure that interventions are met timely. So
Yeah.
I think that is one good way we can go. Yes, but another way too is to make sure that they inform us so that we always make sure that inventories don't run out unexpectedly.
Yeah.
So we'd have to let them know that when you are low on inventory, we can even monitor it ourselves, but they have to make sure that they log it in appropriately
Yeah.
so that we will have that data to always restock them when the need arise.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because there's two parts of restocking, right? There's and we've only really talked about the smart grid out to the health hubs. But the smart grid is also going to be part of putting our suppliers to the tamale warehouse. And so, just like you said, Benny, we're going to see that they treated 5 people for malaria. And so on the next drone flight, we're going to put those supplies back on there, and they're going to rebuy them from us. But we are also going to have to make sure that our warehouse is supplied. So we'll need to make sure that we have those 5 on hand to put on the drone to send to them. So the warehouse will not only be sending out, but bringing in end products. And that's what will have to be managed in that warehouse.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. Yeah.
And that, last thing is that I think I forgot it. Next meeting we'll talk about it, whatever it was, if it was important. But I think this has been a very good discussion. I think we just go around and check if anybody's got anything else before we wrap up.
So yes, I do want to wrap up the meeting in the interest of time, and I know Amir, it's getting late for him there. I'm sure, I don't know, or maybe not, maybe he's a night owl or whatever. But so I do.
He was calling out Uncle when Kevin was talking, and Uncle didn't
Oh,
hear.
I will say hello, Grandpa.
Hello. So sweet. Give him a hug for me.
Yeah, hello, Grandma.
Hey, Grandma.
Yeah, bye-bye.
Very sweet. Bye-bye.
So I did want to say I am in the process of ordering a third Starlink for Warahana, and then I think I will have to also get into Salam and Ben's account to switch the emails.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear what you said. I
The
was too focused on me. What were you saying?
So I'm going to order the third Starlink for Warahana, but then I need to get into Ben and Salam's Starlink at some time to be able to switch the emails back to us so that we can access them.
Right, because I built those, I set those generic dish 1, dish 2, and dish 3 emails up. Yeah. So actually, Salam and Benny, if you guys want to, it's just dish 1 and dish 2. So Salam, you can be dish 1, Benny, you be dish 2. And if you want to change the email, it'll just go to you.
Okay. Because I did go in there yesterday and kind of play around with that on our Starlink. I went in and I was able to change the email. I was able to change the service address. And so those were my two concerns, if I was able to do that. And so I am able to do that. So
Salam, if you could take the action item to change your dish and assign it to the email address dish1@givebasicneeds.org, that would be great.
Okay.
And then Benny, if you could take the action item to assign your dish to dish 2@givebasicneeds.org, that would be great. And then Abbie will go ahead and order on dish 3 email at givebasicneeds.
All right, I'll do that.
Yeah, I'll do that too.
Great.
Well, I think this meeting proves we have a lot more work and thinking to do, brainstorming to do for this health hub, which is great. That's wonderful. It keeps us busy, keeps us motivated as well, for sure. Ben, do you have anything else?
No, I don't have anything else.
Okay. I did want to say for you, Ben, if you could work with Warahana to do a welcome post, similar like you had done for Megan and others, over the summer. So just a picture of her and then for her to complete that bio that is on the website and post it. But then obviously you can't put her information on the website yet because they're working on the cloning and website redesign. But if you could work on that post, that would be awesome.
All right, sure. Yeah, I think I saw that as a task assigned to me.
Yeah.
Yes, I would work with her to have that. So we'll share that on social media for now as we wait on the website.
Yeah, perfect.
I think it's great.
Great. Thank you for that, Ben. Warahana, do you have anything else?
No, I'm okay.
Okay, good. Salam, how about you?
No, will take the action item. I will be waiting for the financials from Kelvin, and we will take it from there.
Okay, great. That'll be my top priority now is to get those so that we can be ready when Warahana needs to present that as part of the grants. Great.
Perfect.
Okay.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much. I appreciate you all and your time and your energy for sure. Sorry this went longer. I think I'm trying to rein in the meetings. We may have to have like another meeting during the week to discuss the Health Hub plus the Ghana meeting. So we will try to figure that out and see what works best for everybody. But I appreciate your effort and you have a good rest of your evening and have a good week.
Thank you so much and have a good day too.
Thank
you, everyone. Bye-bye.
All right, goodbye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye, honey.